What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the channel. We got a little bit different setting here. Yeah, I know we're in the garage, but we are talking about the Chevy Camaro might be, and I'm going to say might be, being discontinued in 2023. Let's dig into it a little bit here. Now, I know I'm not really like a news guy on YouTube as far as automotive news. I've never done this before. I've never done a sit-down talk thing here before. But with as popular as the Chevy Camaro is, and as much as I love the Chevy Camaro, I just figured I saw this article and I had to address it at least a little bit. If you're not familiar with it, reports just came out today that Chevy might be discontinuing the Camaro in 2023. I'll tell you some of the reasons why right now. So I have the article right here, printed it out because I used my phone to film, so I couldn't look it up, and I'm going to throw in some other details. But it says, a new report from Muscle Cars and Trucks alleges that the Camaro may be ending in 2023, which is when the 6th generation Camaro is slated to end production. The report cites multiple sources at General Motors as saying the next generation Camaro program is suspended and with no apparent future beyond 2023. Those sources also allege the nameplate will likely get shelved, meaning no more Camaro for the second time in the pony car's history. They did contact GM, and this is what they had to say. They said, "We will not engage in speculation, but we will remind you of our recently announced updates coming to the Camaro lineup this fall. An all-new LT1 model will provide customers V8 power with the design and affordability of the LT trim. The award-winning SS model will feature a new front fascia from the Camaro shock concept. All of our updates are customer-driven to improve the car and its driving experience." So, if you're not familiar, the reason they're saying about the new updated front end for the SS model is because GM redesigned the Camaro, freshened it, so to speak. Was it a year ago? I guess it was last year. And everyone hated it. If you're all in the car community, it was all over the news. Everyone hated the refresh of the Camaro, and honestly, completely agreed. It was not a good thing. I don't know what GM was thinking. I didn't think it needed updated at all. I really love that newer generation Camaro. I think they did an awesome job with it, making it a little bit smaller than the original one. I think they did a really good job that way, and then they just kind of ruined it. And so you'll see here, we're going to look at some of the sales figures over the last few years, and you'll see the drop for when they redesigned the new Camaro. So the article's short. I'll just finish it up here. It says, so that's not a denial, talking about the GM quote. That's certainly not a denial, but neither is it the final nail in the Camaro's coffin. Going strictly by sales, the future indeed looks grim. Deliveries for the 6th generation Camaro have fallen steadily since its 2016 introduction, with just under 51,000 finding homes in 2018. That's the lowest sales year by far since Camaro's revival in 2009. And figures through the first 3 months of 2019 are only marginally better. The ill-received 2019 facelift could be to blame for that. And to Chevrolet's credit, another facelift for 2020 brings back the more traditional look to the front of the car. It's also worth noting that sales for the Ford Mustang are down in recent years, which I've looked up all the numbers, and that doesn't seem to be 100% accurate to me. It's down a little bit, but we'll go into that in more detail in a second. It'll be interesting to see if the Camaro sales rebound for the 2020 model year with its fresh face. One important note is that the Camaro shares its architecture, its platform is shared with the ATS and CTS. I think they shared stuff from both of them because the CTS is much bigger, so I don't know what all parts. But the Cadillac CTS and ATS are both discontinued as well. So they would have to essentially build either on that platform that they already have, or if they wanted to make a whole new model and a whole new platform, it's like starting from scratch. And I don't know what other cars GM would share that platform with. Probably nothing, or they would have to develop a new model, because GM is basically going with the Ford model of getting rid of all their cars. And a lot of, obviously, no one wants cars anymore. It's the sad truth. It's a tough thing, but everybody was moving over to crossovers. Now, I do think there is still a call for cars. So I think if you could be one of the few people that's left with cars, I don't know that just getting rid of all of your cars, or most of them, obviously I know none of them are completely getting rid of all of them, But I don't know that that's necessarily the right thing. I think just shrinking those lineups down, offering more crossovers is obviously the better thing. But that's really not the point of this. It's just no one is buying cars, so that's going to affect the architecture for stuff that is shared across all of the brands and lineups and things that way. So I looked up what the sales were for Camaro in the last few years, and it is significantly down for 2018. Which is when that new front end was introduced. I think it was introduced for the 2019 model year maybe, but it was brought out in 2018. So in 2012, I went back that far. I didn't go back to 2009 when the Camaro came out. The Camaro actually was beating the Mustang in sales from 2010 to 2014, which is crazy because in my entire life, the Camaro went away in 2002, I believe was the year. Yeah, let's go with 2002. I'm 99% sure I'm right on that. And then came back for 2009. The Camaro had always gotten killed in sales by the Mustang, essentially. Camaro never outsold it to my knowledge. In my whole lifetime, anyways, the Mustang always outsold the Camaro. And now the Camaro was always pretty much better performance-wise, I think. And obviously there was no Challenger back prior to the new Challenger. So there's no real sales to compare there other than back in the 60s. I know that. But no recent in the 90s or anything like that. There was no Challenger to compare to. And even the new ones, like the Camaro, I mean, really came out with a performance advantage in 2009, and has kept it. In some ways, obviously, there's some special Mustangs and things that have been really great performers, like the GT350, 350R, GT500 that's going to come out is going to be crazy. I'm not hating on Mustangs at all here. But Camaro generally performed a little bit better. So in 2012, the Mustang sold 82,000, the Camaro sold 84,000, the Challenger sold 43,000. Then looking at 2014, the Mustang sold 82,000 again, so those 2 years were the same. Camaro actually bumped up, sold 86,000, and the Challenger sold 51,000. Skip 2 years, go to 2016. The Mustang sold 105,000 Mustangs. Camaro sold 72,000, so they have already started dropping off here. And then the Challenger sold 64. So this Challenger has kept increasing, which is crazy to me because the Challenger is on by far the oldest architecture platform of any of them. And what Dodge has been able to do with that is just blowing my mind. Hats off to them. I'm not a Dodge guy, really. I like them. I would drive a Challenger if somebody wants to give me one. That's just amazing. And then 2017, Mustang dropped a lot, but it's still in line with all of the rest of time. It sold 81,000 units. Camaro sold 67,000. Challenger sold 64. So those two stayed about the same. Camaro's down 5,000. And then in 2018, which is where we started to get concerned for the Camaro, the Mustang sold 75,000 units. Challenger sold 66,000 units, and the Camaro sold 50,000 units. So it had a 17,000 units drop year over year, which is just crazy. Now, obviously, the Mustang dropped a lot, 105 down to 75, but 2015 and 2016, they were over 100,000 for the Mustang, which is just crazy. So that was just abnormal sales, I think, with their new Model 2. Now, I don't think that it's just the front end refresh that has affected Camaro. I don't know what exactly it is, I'll be honest, that has made the Challenger, because the Challenger has now outsold the Camaro, which is crazy. It's in third place, and it's so old. The Challenger is so old, it just doesn't even make sense. But the Mustang, when it first came out, the newer Mustang, that was a controversial front end too. Not a lot of people loved it. I didn't really love it. It's grown on me now. I'm coming around the corner. I don't know that the looks are the only reason. I think there's probably other things at play. I don't know if it's marketing or what, but obviously Dodge has done great with bringing out the Demon and the Hellcat and just getting as much every ounce of good they can out of what they have there with the Challenger. And hats off to them for that. So what is going to happen in 2023? We don't know yet. Right now, it looks like there probably will not be a Camaro. I would be hard-pressed to say that, 4 years out, essentially, that GM's already saying they're going to discontinue that. That seems odd to me. But I would say that they're probably going to monitor those sales of, Mustang, Challenger, any comparable cars, and their own, and do everything they can to get everything out of this generation. And then maybe in 2 years, see, what's going to happen. Obviously, 2 years is not really enough time to come up with a whole brand new car, but maybe they'll extend this generation or something. I really don't know. But one thing that they could be doing is just focusing all their efforts on their Corvette and having one, real, obviously it's not exactly the same market, but the prices of an SS Camaro generally could get you up into, at least a used Corvette for sure, and probably even a new one. Like, I think you could very much be a cross shopper, especially when you talk about the, ZL1s and high-end SSs. Like, you could just go buy a Corvette. Now, obviously, those people don't want to buy a Corvette, but if that was their only option, they might. And it may be smarter for GM just to drop the Camaro and focus all their efforts on making the Corvette the best, sports car it could be. Which, if that's the plan, I'm okay with that. I think I'm sad to see the Camaro go for sure. And I would drive a Mustang. I would drive a Challenger. That doesn't really bother me. And hey, maybe that'll be stronger for the two of them. Because I think there obviously will be some buyers who would just switch over and say, all right, I'm driving a Ford or I'm driving a Dodge now. It will be exciting to see what Dodge does when they do decide to refresh the Challenger, if and when that happens. And I don't keep up on that. Maybe they've already announced something. But thanks so much for watching, guys. Sorry for the rambling. I don't do this very often. So if you have any thoughts, comments, put them down below. Let me know what if you think you have some inside knowledge about what's going on with this. Just let me know. I'd love to hear it. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Please like, subscribe, and share. Have a great day.